You guys keep asking me to say what you think about that mouse, to say which mouse are you using, to say which mouse do you recommend. That's why I decided to rate all the mice I have today. As you can see, I've prepared a little tier list here, and there should be every mouse I've ever had, and if I forgot one, then it's probably not relevant. As you can see, we have 5 different tiers from S to D, S being the best tier and D being the worst, or the mouse is just not made for Minecraft or high CPS. And I tried to sort the mice from the first one I ever got to the latest one. And I know I have been a bit inactive when it comes to uploading videos, but I will try to change that and get more active again. And I've been more live streaming, so if you want to, you can check out my Twitch. I will leave a link in the description. I'd really appreciate it if you follow and maybe join the live streams, but enough of that and let's get back to the mice. Okay, starting off with the first mouse, the Speedlink Decus. I have no idea how to pronounce that, and I got the mouse over 9 years ago. It was my first ever mouse. And I still have it to this day, but you can kinda see that I've had it for a while now. If you have been watching my videos, then you have probably already recognized this mouse, because it has a rather interesting feature, and I guess I will just show you real quick. The mouse has a rather interesting button right here, and I will just go into Minecraft real quick to show you what that button actually does. So you can see my CPS down here, and if I just press this button, you can already see that the CPS are, yeah. Pretty interesting. You can see bridging is obviously no problem with that mouse. Yeah, I guess the results speak for themselves. And the little god bridge. Yeah, looking pretty good, I'd say. Okay, but apart from that, the mouse isn't really good. You can also see it has like these 2 things here where you can rest your ring and your pinky finger. I feel like that's such an old thing, like which modern mouse still has that? And don't auto-click or anything, because you will get banned and it's less fun, and obviously it can be useful, but it's no fun. You will get banned, and most of the time you will be better if you just play legit. So it would feel kinda wrong to put it into the D category where it says not made for high CPS, so I'll just put it in C, but it really sucks. And I don't think you can even buy it anymore, so just don't. Okay, coming to the next mouse, the Roccat Kone Aimo, but the OG version obviously, because I got it like 6, 7, 8 years ago. I mean, you can probably see it's a pretty chunky mouse, and please don't ask me why I can't do that. I wanted to do something, okay? I mean, I think it's probably good for butterfly clicking, and you can do some drag clicking on there, but it's just an outdated mouse and probably doesn't come close to today's standards. It obviously has the 2 side buttons here, but it also has another button down here, which is pretty useful for hotkeying. It was pretty fun back in the days, but I feel like it doesn't fit today's standards anymore, so I will probably give it a B. Okay, then the Sharkoon Drakonia. I don't have it anymore, so I can't show you how it looks in real life, but you can already see it as an interesting design. It was also okay for back in the day, but also nothing too crazy, so I would also just give it a B probably. Okay, coming to the Catz R.A.T 6. If you have been an OG drag clicker, then you probably know the Catz R.A.T 7. And well, obviously, back then I also wanted a Catz R.A.T 7 because it was considered to be one of the best drag clicking mice out there. I think the problem was that the company ran out of money and they didn't produce it anymore, so I got the R.A.T 6 unfortunately. You were still able to drag click a little bit, and the ideas and design of the mouse was just crazy. Unfortunately, that's the only mouse I've ever broken in my career, and not because of drag clicking. The side button thingy just broke because that was my main mouse for games like Valorant or Fortnite. So for Minecraft I would probably also give it a B, but it was a really cool mouse and I'm kinda sad that it broke. Okay, and we're already at the Bloody A60. Yeah, what should I say? The Bloody A60 is probably the best drag clicking mouse out there. It's not really good, the design isn't that crazy, it's also kinda heavy. I mean, it has a weight in there that you theoretically can remove, but it's kind of just a brick. But for some reason that mouse just accepts insanely high CPS. You can also use it for butterfly clicking and PvP and all that, so I'd say that's definitely a S. I remember when I bought it, I kinda struggled to drag click on it, cause I've been using these mice for drag clicking before, and the Bloody A60 is kinda special with how much pressure you have to apply and all that, but once you get it down, it really works well. But always remember you're buying a mouse and not an auto clicker, so you need a certain skill to get the full potential of the mouse, okay? Okay, coming to the Bloody V3M. If you're an OG 2SA viewer, you probably remember that I made a review on that mouse. But you may also remember that it was pretty bad and it wasn't able to double click. So I would just put it on D and leave it there. Okay, the Bloody A70X or the ABedless. I bought it as an ABedless, and I know there's also an A70X out there, and I'm pretty sure it's the same mouse, but I'm not 100% sure, so I got the ABedless. And you've probably seen my clips where I drag click over 200 CPS with that mouse. So it's definitely really good for CPS. And I don't know if it accepts more CPS than the A70. I've never tested the drag click 200 on the A70 or A60. But theoretically it's only the A70 with another skin. But the main difference is that it costs twice as much as the A70, I think, which is probably not worth it. So even though it's an insane mouse and I really love it, I will put it on A because it's just kinda overpriced. But yeah, crazy mouse. Okay, the Logitech G305. Let's keep it short and simple. This mouse is absolutely ass. It doesn't double click, it's pretty small. There's a usual battery in there, so it's pretty heavy. I just bought it to play Fortnite on. It's not made for Minecraft or basically anything, I guess. It was pretty cheap. It's alright for other games, but it's not the best choice for Minecraft. Okay, talking about bad mice for Minecraft, this is the complete opposite. The HyperX Pulsefire FPS Pro. I think I bought this mouse around 2 years ago. I'm not too sure, but it has been a while. And back then it was pretty unknown. I feel like most drag clickers know about it nowadays. I don't know what it is, but it feels like I always have grip on this mouse, which is insane. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining about it. It also has these rubber things here, which helps you to not lose grip of the mouse itself. You can also see the mouse buttons are one piece, which is always good for drag clicking in my opinion. And I really like it. I think the highest CPS was around 100. I'm not too sure though. It's also not as cheap as the A70, so that's also something pretty good. It's okay for butterfly clicking. I'd say it's pretty fair to put that mouse on the S tier. Yo, this is the future 2SA. I forgot to mention, if you're planning to buy the HyperX Pulsefire FPS Pro, there may be a little problem. Because not all of them accept high CPS. You have to be kinda lucky to get the right version that actually accepts high CPS. Fortunately, I got the one which accepts high CPS, but I just wanted to make you aware of that. Okay, my modded Bloody A60 and A70. I know it looks interesting. If you have no idea what's going on here, then you can check out my video where I modded the mouse. Yeah, I absolutely love that mouse for drag clicking. I could theoretically do 10 hits block clutches with that one, which is just insane. It's also nice for something like guard bridging and obviously also for reduced fights. Because of the extended mouse buttons, I personally don't like to butterfly click on it. It feels kinda weird. But if the A70 is on S tier, then this one has to definitely be on S tier. Okay, the Lemokey G1. I mean, it's alright. I can't really remember if it double clicks, so I don't think it's made for Minecraft, but for other games it's pretty nice. For something like Fortnite or Valorant, I really like it. I obviously also like it for 1.20 PvP, but I think it's just not made for high CPS like that. Okay, the glorious Model O. I made a whole video about the O2 and the I2, so if you want more details you can check that video out. They're both pretty good mice, and they're really good for butterfly clicking. Drag clicking obviously also works, but I don't know what it is, but I just prefer another mouse for butterfly clicking in PvP or the newer version PvP. I would put the Model O2 on A tier because it's pretty good but not mind-blowing like these three up here. And I think the I2 is even a bit nicer to drag click on, so I will put it in front of the O2. And if I remember correctly, the I2 also has a third side button, which is always useful. Yeah, I feel like that's a fair ranking. Okay, coming to the Bloody A60. I mean, it's basically the A70 with another skin again. I know there's a few people out there who say, yeah, the A70 accepts more CPS, and other people say, yeah, the A60 accepts more CPS. But I don't know, for me it's just the same mouse. But I think the A60 looks a bit cooler, so it's in front of the A70. Okay, the Roccat Kone Pro Air. I also made a video reviewing this mouse, so if you want more details you can also check that out. It's well for drag clicking. There are a lot of good bridgers, talking about speed tele bridgers, who use the Kone Pro Air as their main mouse. I bought a used one because you can't just buy it like that anymore. And I don't know if it's on every Pro Air, but at least on mine the mouse buttons feel kinda shaky or wiggly, if you know what I mean. But it's pretty good, you should be able to do most things with it, so I would just put it in the A tier. The Roccat Kone XTD. If you remember the Catz R.A.T 7 back from the days, you definitely also remember the Roccat Kone XTD. The R.A.T 7 and the XTD used to be the kings of drag clicking back then. It was insane in the old days and it's still pretty good today. It's an old mouse, so once again it's pretty heavy again. It has some weights you can theoretically remove, but for knockback reduced fights I kinda prefer heavy mice. Butterfly clicking is not that good on it, and I would also not use it for PvPing in newer versions. So I'm not sure if I should put it on B or A. Probably B, because it's good in a few drag clicking areas. I don't think anyone speed tele bridges with it as an example. And it's just not the best all-rounder. Okay, the Lofree Hypace. I know it looks interesting, but hear me out, okay? It's definitely a nice mouse. You can see the design on this one is actually insane. Don't wonder I put it there, that's not usually like that. I just did some testing. If I remember correctly, the design is inspired by a bicycle helm, which is like, how do you even come up with that idea? It's also insanely light. If I remember correctly, it's something like 47 grams. I know the mouse buttons seem kinda skinny, but you can still butterfly well on them. And you may think you can't drag click on it, but I've actually done a full speed tele with that mouse before, so in my opinion, if you can do speed teles with a mouse, then it should be fine for most drag clickers out there. As you can see, I built a little extension here for the mouse button because I just wanted to test if I can butterfly better on it. Yeah, you know me, I like modding my mice. I feel like I would really like this mouse for something like 1.21 sword PvP. I think once you get used to the mouse, it's really nice. But for now I will probably put it into B tier. But it's probably one of the most interesting mice I have, and you just gotta appreciate the creativity. Okay, then the Roccat Kane 120. Don't get me wrong, it's a good mouse, but it breaks so fast. If you have the Kane 100 or 120, and I also think 200, you won't have a nice time if you're browsing on the internet. Because I know nobody where the mouse wheel is still working. I got the 100 and the 122 and both mouse wheels are broken. And I've repaired them before. I actually opened up the mouse, cleaned everything, bended the pins back and all that. And after a week it just stopped working again. So I feel like there's a major design flaw in there. I think other people are also experiencing problems with the side buttons. I do not, fortunately, but not being able to use the mouse wheel is so annoying. Let me actually show you. I will only scroll up and you will see my hotbar. You see how sometimes it just stops working or just skips back a few slots? Like, that's just so annoying. That's like a randomizer right there, and that's not how you're supposed to play. And that's also why I opened up my Roccat Kone Aimo, because I wanted to use the Aimo's mouse wheel and wanted to put it into the Kane 120. I really like it to speed tele bridge, and I think together with the Kone Pro Air, it's one of the most used mice for speed tele bridging. You can also easily butterfly 20 CPS on it, but the mouse wheel unfortunately is just a deal breaker for me, so I will put it on B tier. And I have the 120 and the 122 separated, because for some reason the drag clicking just feels different on both of them. I also bought both of them used, so that may be why, because one of them may be more worn off, but it's just something I wanted to throw in there. Okay, coming to my latest mouse. The Lamzu Maya X 8K. You can drag click on it, I've done speed tele bridges with it, but drag clicking wise it's obviously not close to a Bloody or the HyperX. I would also get more CPS while butterfly clicking on the Model 02 or the Kane 120 and 22. I don't know what it is, but there's just something about this mouse that I really like. It's not really heavy, the battery life is good, you can easily get 40 CPS on it, and most people don't even need 40 CPS. Unless I need drag clicking with high CPS, this is the mouse I use everything for. We're talking about 1.8 PvP, 1.20 PvP like Sword, Crystal. If I'm playing high pixel bear wars, it's the Lamzu. And even if I'm just browsing on my desktop, I'm also mainly using the Lamzu. I also really like the size and position of the side buttons. I never made a review on that mouse because I used to have a bug. It wasn't able to double click, but once I made a firmware update, it worked perfectly fine and it quickly became my main mouse. So if you have the Lamzu Maya X 8K and it can double click, then try updating the firmware. I really like it, and for me personally, it definitely belongs into S tier. These are all the mice I've ever had and ever tested. So if you want my opinion on a Roccat Kone EMP as an example, I couldn't give you one because I've never tested it before, you know. What would you say? Do you agree with my list or would you have done anything different? You can also tell me in the comments what your main mouse is and why it's your favorite. But I'd say that's it for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch and also make sure to join my Discord. But I'm pretty sure you already did, right? Okay, have a good day everybody and goodbye.